I'm going to demonstrate making a Clearfold package. Clearfold is a company, so it's a brand name, but it has become kind of a generic term that we use for clear folded structures. So it's made out of a plastic. They use PVC, polypropylene, and PET. So PVC is polyvinyl chloride. That is really bad stuff. So that is not only is it not recyclable, but it's toxic. I thought it was illegal, but they're still using it. And then polypropylene is not readily recyclable, so that is a bit of a problem. So the good material to use is the PET. Yes, it is plastic, but it is almost 100% recyclable. So like anything else that's PET, as long as we collect it and reuse it, it's okay. We can keep it in a closed loop. But that is our big dilemma, especially in our country. We're not recycling enough, and we're not collecting enough of the PET. I think we only collect maybe, the latest was like 5 to 8% of PET, so it's not the greatest thing in the world. So this is a piece of PET, and it's kind of milky because it has a clear film on both sides. It gets scratched and takes fingerprints very easily, so I try to keep it covered all the way up to the end so it's nice and clear. But it'll be crystal clear when it's done. So this is the concept I'm going to demonstrate. I just want to show how this works. It's a little bit of a different cutting out, especially when we're making it by hand than just working with cardboard. So I'm going to use these readers. This will be a kit that holds 2 readers, and it has the case, and it's going to have a cardboard piece on the inside, which I made already. It's pretty straightforward. It's just this cardboard piece. I have a fold here. So this can be one-sided printing and fold it over. And the glasses are going to be positioned so the temples go to the back. Temples are these extensions that go to the back. So the idea is when you're using a clear package, you want to make sure that it needs to be clear. I wouldn't use it just for the fun of it. So something like this, the consumer needs to see the product because they're not going to be able to try it on. These are relatively economical readers, and you basically just get to look at it, and you know the strength that you need, and you just pick out the one you want. So here you can see the whole front. And then you'll be able to see the temples in the back to see what the whole design is. I have this little curved piece in here because this is going to support the case. That's going to sit right up here on top. And then all of this will go into the clear fold. It's going to be a pillow pack, so it'll curve around to the front and the back. And then it's going to have the hang tab so it can go on the peg hook. And that's how it's going to work. So I had this already made. And I had done this from this die line. I didn't use a 3D data file. I just went right in and did it by pencil on a piece of paper. It was pretty straightforward. It's your basic pillow pack, and you'll see how that works where we get this reverse curve, and you put that in there. And it was just a matter of calculating where it was going to fit. So I just literally put the glasses on here and made calculations, and I used this same die line to make my cardboard piece. But I'm going to use this to cut this out now. And that's where it gets a little bit different. Because normally we take the die line, we print it out from our 3D data file, and I use the repositionable spray mount, put that on there, and then lightly tack it to the back of the cardboard. So when you do that, there's a little bit of the sticky residue that stays on the material. But when a cardboard box, that's on the inside, so quite often it won't really matter, and the outside is really nice and clean. But since this is clear, we don't want to have any spray residue on here because it'll look terrible. We want this to be crystal clear when it's done. So putting spray mount on this and setting that down can be a bit of a problem. So what I do, just for handmade, now normally we can cut this on a cutting table and it's much easier and it's quicker. But I'm just emphasizing doing a lot of these things by hand just to test out our designs and work out the details. And once it's all worked out, then once you start making pre-production parts, obviously we're going to go to the cutting table and we don't have to worry about that. But to keep with our design process, I will do this. I tape it down. Obviously, we can see right through the material to the die line, which is underneath. So what I do is I cut and score right through this material. Let me get my scoring nail. There's a couple of tools that I use for scoring with plastic. They have electronic means of sort of heating the material, and it makes a nice, really, really nice fold. So we're going to imitate that by hand. So I'll use something like this. This is from some Dremel points from a big compass that woodworkers use. So it's basically just like a big nail. So it's metal. Or you can use this. This is called an awl. It's a woodworking tool to do set for drilling holes, and it's also metal. So we're not going to dig in here and break the material. We're going to sort of ride on the edge like this and just sort of dent the material the best we can so we can get a nice fold there. So I have a couple of these folds like this. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to press pretty hard. I'm not digging in, I'm just like denting it. And since I'm on this cutting board, which is semi-soft, it allows that to dig down in there. So I'm going to make that like that. So I have my little hang tag here for the peg hook. I have that on this fold, which will actually help this fold to move nicely, which is great. So that's really the only two straight folds. These other folds I did with some drawing tools. So I am going to try to just do this by hand. It's a little challenging to keep this nice and straight. Actually, nice and curved. So by pressing this down, I can get a nice area there for that to fold. So this is, like I had mentioned, this is PET, and this is 10 thousandths thick. So it's relatively thin compared to some of the cardboard that we're using, but since it is plastic, it is very durable. It can be printed. You can print right on it, which is quite nice. You can have a fully decorated package structure. Obviously what you would do, since you're using the clear material, you wouldn't print in its entirety. You would allow some clear areas to come through, and that's the whole point of using the clear. This design, my clear part, I don't have any printing on it. All my graphics are going to be on the cardboard insert on the inside. So this is hard to do. Again, you got to be careful cutting this material because you have to press pretty hard, and if you press hard and it starts to slip, the knife can slip right off the material and go right into your hand. So see how I'm keeping my hands away from the path of the blade. And these tight curves, I think I broke my tip already. These tight curves are challenging. Take time. Okay. Looks like this moved a little. No, we're good. Another little feature of this hang tab coming right out of the back of the material, this is where the case for the glasses will be mounted inside. So what's kind of nice is this is going to create like a little opening in the back, which allows you to go in and touch the case, because it's like a neoprene, so it's a little spongy material, so it allows the consumer to feel what that's going to be like. It's a nice little feature. All right, so I'm going to cut these. So I am good. All I have to do is these two straight cuts. This. I didn't do this. Okay. That should be it. Get this out of the way. Okay, so there's my part. Excellent. So this is a straight fold here. this will fold here. Okay. So that's that little area in here where you can touch the heart. That looks good. I'm just going to fold these now. So these folds aren't the best because we're doing it by hand. The actual equipment, when they do this fold, they make these really, really nice. Let's just bring this light up a little. Alright, so we got that started. So like I mentioned, see, I got some double stick tape, so we'll get ready with that. So let me just open this up. So we have that film. I'm going to take the film off of the end. Okay, so that's the inside. So I'm going to try not to touch that too much and put this together. Let's go like that. So now I'm going to open this up a little bit so I can bring this over. Let's fold that in. Okay, I'm just going to try to get that to line up as best I can. Put this to the outside. Hold everything. I have the film on the outside, so I need to remove the film here. I'm just going to back off and put it just about there, just so it's not, see, that was on the way. So now I'm ready. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I have a little bit extra here. I'm just going to cut that off. Thing is, with cardboard, a lot of these glue seams and things like that are hidden. But with clear, you see through everything. So I'm trying to put this little glue tab in the back, on the bottom, so it's as far away from being seen as possible. But we'll see. It's a little milky. Okay. Alright, so I got the seam taped down here at the bottom, and I set up this one end, kind of just, refolded these curves here, kind of pressed them in a little bit and get that to line up really nicely. So that side is set up. So this is the back, this is the open area, and I have the glue thing in the back, so it's down on the back here so we don't see it. So now it's just a matter of how Fulfillment would do this. It's a little challenging because this material is hard to manipulate because of these folds, but it's not too bad. Maybe I spoke too soon. It's getting stuck here. There we go. Okay, not too bad. So again, this is the front, so I'm going to fold this part in first. So this is where I'm kind of just pressing the fold again to get that to hold, because these folds are just made by hand, so they're not the greatest. But I think we can get it to work. So I'm just kind of hyper folding it a little bit to get that to sit in there as even as I can. That's not bad. And then we just do the same thing with the front. So it's like a double wall on the end. So these can be glued, heat staked, or like I had mentioned, wafer seals, like a little piece of tape to hold that. So I'm not really making a commitment on that at this point. Just want to get that to hold. There we go. Just squeezing that. A little bit more right here. And if I get that to sit tight, it'll look pretty clean. Okay. Okay, not bad. Great, so that's it. So obviously graphics all on the cardboard piece on the inside, and it would hang nicely here. Has a nice slim profile. So this was a test. I wasn't really sure if this was going to fit. So it fits pretty well. It's not bad. It's very lean. Doesn't look like it's too over packaged. We always have to watch out for that, because we are designing packages and we tend to get carried away and do a little bit too much with it. But I think this is kind of appropriate for what it is. Excellent. And then there's the case, and you can touch it through this little opening in the back here. So that's the only undesirable part, is that glue flat. And this I did by hand. In production, they have adhesives and tapes and things like that that are almost crystal clear. So it's pretty good. So this would be a great mock-up, and this I would bring it to production people and talk about exactly how the fulfillment's going to work and how the print's going to happen. So that's it. It's a clear fold package.